Have a little entanglement with our plants, honey. Hi you all, welcome back. We're getting ready to plant up a succulent arrangement, and I'm very excited about the succulent arrangement. I have a beautiful assortment of succulent plants here. This is the container that we're going to be using. It's so beautiful, and it's part of my container arsenal. I've had it for quite some time here. So I don't know the brand of the container. This is what we're going to be using. Now, for our succulent arrangement, we're going to have to do a little bit of work. I'm going to put some soil in this beautiful container here. Because we're doing a succulent arrangement, you guys can make your own soil. There's various recipes out there where you can go in and add additives to your soil. I'm going to be using a mix that's made for succulents, cactus, citrus, etc. And basically what that just means is that you want to make sure that your succulent mix, your soil, is fast draining. We are using a small container. I also brought out my small scooper here. Now, when I plant up arrangements, I love to use scoopers. That way it cuts down on the mess. I also have a knife, a paintbrush. Different than any other time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I am going to put a folded up piece of coffee filter in the bottom of my planter. Now, I'm not going to need that much soil, but I am going to go in. We are going to put our soil inside of our container here. And I am going to pretty much fill this all the way up to the top. You guys, look at that. Look at that. Come on now, get on up in here, honey. So what I think we want to do first is we want to start to prep our plant right here. Now, this is a succulent, and this should come apart pretty easy, so we may not even need the knife because I let it dry out a little bit. Okay, get this untangled. We have a little entanglement with our plants, honey. Okay, so we have the first clump, another clump. So here's another clump right here. We're going to put some just nitrile gloves on. Now, I know I'm using this plant for sure, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop this back up. Okay, here's another piece of a root here, but I don't want to use all of my roots, so I am going to go ahead and I am going to repot some of these, and that way I'll duplicate my stash here of plants. So very simple. And actually, I kind of want a smaller container than that. Our roots can hit the sides quicker and start to develop a root system a lot quicker than if it had not hit the sides. And I do have some terracotta that's smaller than this. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in this water, and it's going to take the water up. It shouldn't take very long. I'm going to take the other one because I definitely know that I'm using these two for sure in my arrangement. So I am going to go ahead. I'm going to take this one right here and see what this does. Okay, so what I'm going to do with those cuttings, I'm going to set them in indirect light. Once my medium is wet, I'm going to pick it up, give it a couple more minutes. It's not going to take long because this is basically rock base here. And if I wanted to, there are some more cuttings, so I'll see what I end up with at the end, and then I will go in and I will go ahead and pot them up. Have a sufficient amount, 3 pieces right here on the side, and they're going to look, you know, they're going to look okay. You'll be able to see them inside of our planter that we're going to do here. And there's even still more in here. The ones with the longer roots, I will go ahead and I will keep those. This is already, see how this is kind of just dripping out right here? So I know that this is ready to be set out here. Same thing with this one right here. So it did not take long. This one may take a little bit longer because it is a bigger pot. Now let's go ahead and let's start planting this up here. Now sometimes with your succulents or any plant for that matter, I've showed you guys how I go in and I have literally spliced the plant root in half. That is more so where the knife comes in place, but the medium that they use for this succulent here was more rocks than anything and sand, so we didn't need it. So that's great. Now we do have some forceps. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pop this first one out of the container. I'm going to use an old plant can right here. And I'm going to just put a coffee filter in the bottom of it just so we keep down on the mess. Now I want to remove as much of this dirt as possible. So this is pretty much what I'm left with. Now I can't take off more than that. You can take it all the way down to the stem and it'll be fine. I'm going to go in and I'm going to look up underneath the underside, and anything that's not attractive, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull that off. Okay. The reason why I like to use my forceps is because I can get down deep inside of the succulent and I can pull out anything that doesn't look that attractive. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to start planting this succulent arrangement here. And basically what I'm going to do is I am going to let this succulent rest on the lip of the container here. So we're going to start building this out, okay? The secret to this is you want to make sure you have well packed in roots. Now this looks a lot better like this, packed in like this, than if we were to just have it just sitting up like this, okay? Now for the succulents that I have more than one, because this is a small container. Now I could come in and do something like this right here, but I don't want to do that just yet. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to break this up a bit, okay? And so when I'm working on my succulent arrangements, I like to lay my pieces of succulent out so I can see what I have to work with. And now this one, I do have the opportunity to go ahead and break this another time, so I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. So we have 3 pieces of that right there, okay? Now let's go in and right here against this color right here, I have another succulent that also has 3, but we're going to still continue to work on building out our base here. For our succulents that have the flowers coming out, use the flower, okay? Peel these off here. That is going to give me more of a lip. Can you guys see that? So now that I've went in, I've pulled anything that looks like it wasn't attractive. I've pulled that out. I am going to ruffle more of the root system out here. And so now I have this beautiful lip that I can come in and I can set down, right? This is what we're going to do. Okay, so we took the flower off, right? We're going to just set that to the side. Succulents, anything that I have left over, I like to take these and I like to make cuttings. Now I have a big opportunity here for cuttings, and I also, when I break my floral arrangements down, if I have any type of stems left over, I will take these stems, I will pot those stems up and let those stems grow along and produce more succulents. It can be a little bit on the expensive side to go out and buy a lot of succulents at one time, or you can propagate them. The more you start to do different containers, do different plants, you'll start to gather up a lot of different plants that you can use for your indoor plant arsenal, and that's what I like to do. So I'm all about showing you guys my tips and tricks that I've learned over the years with showing you how you can save money and have a luxurious show in your home, so when people come to visit you and they stop by, they will be in awe. Oh my God, where did you get this from? I know you pay a ton of money for this beautiful floral arrangement, and all you did was use a couple of tips and tricks. Satisfied with how everything looks, and just the flow of it is very luxurious. It is extremely gorgeous, you guys, and it's packed. Now, typically with my succulent arrangements, I really like to think outside of the box. I like to be creative. I like to go with the flow, and it kind of just depends on what type of collection I'm working on in my home. What is the feel? What is the vibe that I'm giving for the succulent arrangement? And so this is certainly going to fit in. Now, you can go in and clean this up just a tad bit more, but I'm really satisfied with it, because sometimes when you poke and prod too much, you can really kind of destroy your floral arrangement. It's a small arrangement, but it certainly makes a big statement. Drop down in the comment box. Let me know what you think about this succulent arrangement. I can't wait to hear from you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.